My son, 13, told me today that he wants to start exercising and eating healthier because he sees where poor health choices can leave him in 30 years. He was talking about me. I know he didn't mean it to be hurtful. He doesn't hate me that much, yet. One of his classmates has been making fun of my son for his weight. I know this classmate well, because I am both of their teacher. Yes, I teach my own son. The classmate thinks that it's funny, but the classmate doesn't know that his mother has been called in for a meeting next week, and we've been documenting all of the mean things he's been saying to my son and other classmates. My son is slightly overweight. I am obese. I am trying very hard to help my son make healthy choices without giving him body image issues. He started working out with me. He started eating more vegetables and fewer carbs. But just in the last week, he's been asking a lot more about skipping meals and working out more, even when I'm not working out with him. I told him that he shouldn't skip meals or lift weights without me, but he can do all of the cardio he wants without me around, as long as he's doing it for the right reasons. If he wants to get better at sports or be healthier, great. If he's doing it because he's being picked on, not great. His response was, "It's not because I'm being picked on. It's because I see where poor health choices can leave me in 30 years, and I want to avoid that. It's me. I'm the bad example." Edit, I am a male, and I was much heavier than he is when I was his age. My parents did nothing to stop my weight gain. They were also overweight, and just accepted it. Why does it piss him off so much when we eat in our own home? A few months back I caught my boyfriend's 40 son, 9, we'll call him G, standing on a chair pulling a box of crackers from the cabinet above the microwave. At first I laughed thinking this sweet baby angel had a secret stash of food he was hiding from everyone else, and I was curious what made him to decide to do that. I said, "Hey, what you doing?" And he immediately turned to point at his dad and said he told me to put them here so that M, my son, 16, we'll call him M, doesn't eat them. And I was kind of taken aback. I still don't understand why BF didn't just tell him, "Hey, don't eat these," or just buy an extra box if he's that worried about it. But most of all, I was pissed he made G feel like he needed to hide stuff from me and M. As if we're barbarians who gobble up all the food while they starve or something. A few weeks later, while we're all together at Sunday brunch, G randomly and aggressively exclaims, "Oh, like the pepperoni pizza? The 2 slices of pepperoni pizza?" Turns out he was talking about the 3 large pizzas we bought that past Friday. He was upset that M ate 2 pieces late Saturday night when he got back from out of town. Then M explained he actually fell asleep and left the 2 slices in the microwave and never ate them. When we all got home, G immediately ran to the microwave to get the pizza and quickly started eating it. Then, BF tells G something along the lines of "Good job getting to it fast enough." Probably important to note, we didn't actually eat at brunch. We sat there for over an hour and never saw a waiter after we got drinks, so we eventually left another odd first for us. A few weeks later, now 2 days ago, I get a text from BF that says M ate the chips I bought for myself. Cool. Nothing else. Then today, I tell BF I realized I've not been eating much this week and we wondered if it could be due to stress. I told him I wanted this salad from a burger joint we like and asked if he wanted anything. $90 later, my salad, his bacon cheeseburger and M's cheeseburger are delivered. G is not here this weekend. I said I was stealing a bite of his bacon cheeseburger and he grumbled, audibly whined, and then rolled his eyes as I took a small little baby bite out of his burger. I never in a million years anticipated that reaction to my tiny mouth bite out of his big-ass burger, or I wouldn't have taken a bite in the first place. Then he practically carried his cheeseburger under his arm out of the room like it was football, while telling me to get back. And I swear on everything I love, I am not normally the type to ask for a bite of someone's food. Anyone's. I never even want food, period. Let alone someone else's. Normally this would be a very weird thing for me to ask, but I was really, finally, hungry. But it's even weirder how protective he was over this cheeseburger, and how appalled he was that I would dare ask such a thing. We've been together almost 6 years. We own a home together. We are raising kids together. We don't have many arguments. Even between M and G, they get along beautifully when it comes to any other subject. Why is something this silly seemingly an important issue to BF, and now by proxy his son, and becoming more frequently an issue? This just doesn't feel normal, and I don't know how I should be taking/understanding it. Or, do I just live with some hangry boys and maybe need to cook/feed them more? As a mom, I'd love having a child-free sister. My sister, F29, is child-free by choice, and she plans to keep it that way for the rest of her life. She doesn't hate kids, she just doesn't want them. I never force her to interact with my kids or let alone babysit. But she's incredibly nice to my kids, and my kids love her, and she's considered the rich auntie to them. Every birthday, or sometimes randomly, she would buy them these great gifts. The only downside is she has them hooked on Squishmallows, because she loves them herself, and now my house has turned into a mosh pit for Squishmallows, but I seriously don't mind. As for me, I love having someone I hang out with that doesn't have kids or a mom. Like when my kids were with the ex-in-laws for the weekend, and we randomly decided to go to Mexico, and I had a blast. It was just nice not feeling like a total mom. Your individual identity gets sometimes, so it was a nice reminder that I'm still a fun person. But just a random appreciation post for my child-free sister. My dad tried to make me give him my new car, so I left the family home and haven't spoken to anyone in the family for about a year now. My dad tried to convince me to give me the car I was going to buy until I got my driver's license. I had told my mom not to ask him to do this when she brought it up to me, but she ignored me and got him to try to convince me anyway. I was willing to pay for the broken window in their current vehicle so it would be able to be used for my driver's test, but they wanted me to give them the car I was buying instead. I was pretty upset by this already, and then my dad accused me of never giving him my driver's permit and trying to get him kicked off his insurance, and that was the tipping point for me. I yelled at him that I wished he was never my father, and he screamed at me to go find another father. Then he was screaming at my mom to kick me out because he doesn't want to see me there anymore. I have no idea why he didn't do it himself. He was just screaming at his wife to do it for him. I didn't like how he was just screaming at her and how she looked stunned about what to do. So I packed my things, called my friend who had told me he might want to rent a room to me a few weeks before, and left. I get told by my mom later he's crying that he's ruined the relationship with his kid. It felt like him screaming was just a scare tactic to make me apologize. To be honest though, I was already angry from a few weeks ago. I'd confronted him about when he threatened to kill me and dump my body in the desert when I was just 18. It's scary because there's actually a desert nearby where the wildlife makes everything disappear. His response was it didn't happen. After my mom and sister kept telling me to move on with my life after he tried to contact me either on alternate numbers or through one of them, I cut them off too. It didn't help that I felt like my sister only wanted to talk to me if she wanted me to buy her something expensive. I'm still not over my sister coming into my room one time and asking me to pay off my parents' mortgage when I got my first job. She tried guilt-tripping me, saying Mom would end up homeless if Dad died before it was paid. I don't think she knows the ins and outs of how long that would have taken me, since at the time I was working minimum wage. And after I left the family home, she had this idea where I could give her half the money for a brand new electric car. I'm a lot happier now that I left them about a year ago, but I'm still worried they're going to come back sometimes, telling me I'm too stupid to live without them, or that I need to help them with money issues. I used to feel guilty about leaving them, but after talking with other people and starting some therapy, I've kinda realized my family is really messed up in a lot of ways. Also, while I don't have a new father, someone close to me has volunteered to be my grandparent, and he is really nice to me. I discovered my dad cheated on my mom. First, to infos, I have always been interested in technology and was my family's go-to expert for anything related. Since I was 13, my dad's job was always requiring him to work long hours, at least we were told so he was away for majority of the time during our upbringing, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom. One time, while he was traveling on a trip and had to leave one of his phones home, he had 3, he called Mom and asked her to open the phone and send him STH from it, then power it back off. So Mom opened it, but forgot to power off directly, and 2 minutes after, the phone rang. It was a saved number using a male name. I took the phone to my mom and she answered to tell them that Dad is traveling, but the voice was for a woman who said she had the wrong number once she heard my mom's voice. The name got stuck in my brain, and after it I started paying attention and noticed whenever that guy called, Dad would take the call in a different room. One time his phone broke, so he asked me to back up data on the PC. Doing so, I retrieved some deleted messages as well, which included messages from the affair partner asking my dad when will he marry her, and a lot of flirting messages. He doesn't know that I saw those messages, as I just saw them on my PC and shouldn't have been able to in reality. Later on I realized that actually the job didn't require all those hours, as in university I met a friend who coincidentally her father was a co-worker of my dad, both retired at the time, and were around the same rank. She mentioned how present her father was during her life, which for me was the exact opposite. Still, everyone in my family thinks he was always at work. I can't confront him with all of that, as now it seems this stopped and he and my mom are happy. He for sure doesn't know that I know anything, and no one else knows in general. As for my mom, the phone call was the only suspicious thing maybe. But for me, after that day I caught a lot more similar small things because of his phones. He deletes things and thinks he is safe, but I end up seeing them even without snooping. I just wanted to get this off my chest, as I can't share it with anyone in my actual life. I'm ghosting my job as of today, and I don't feel bad about it. I, 21F, have been working at a bakery part-time as a second job for the last 7 months. They hired me fast, which should have been a red flag altogether. The boundaries I set from the time I was hired have continued to gradually be broken. I've felt like I've been walking on eggshells working for them this whole time. Managers would get P** said of if I asked for a break during my 6-hour shifts, but not get mad when 3 other people asked to leave early, being on their phones, etc. It always felt like targeted bullying and being taken advantage of for my lack of confrontation and being a top-tier people pleaser. Monday was my last straw when everyone was screwing around while I had no break and had to pick up their work. I had to get blood drawn that day, and my manager knew that. I needed to eat, so finally I ate for 5 minutes, 4.5 hours in my shift, when she told me to clock out if all I'm doing is standing around. Yesterday morning I worked, and the tension made me so anxious. Hell, waking up for that shift almost gave me a panic attack. Knowing that manager, who is a grown woman BTW, was getting her posse to make me feel uncomfortable. That whole shift just wasn't worth it. No one suspected that I was planning to quit except for one of my coworkers who has had a similar experience to mine. She is crippled and has been overworked and forced as being manager by my boss, and it makes me sick. It took our boss 2 months before she finally agreed to let my coworker step down from manager BC. She was ignoring her. She's also a people pleaser, and that's what our boss loves to feed off of, it seems. I was supposed to work this morning, but I decided *CK it and didn't show. I got one missed call from one of the managers 30 minutes after I didn't show, but that was it. I think they got the memo. I'm just so happy to be doing something for myself for once. I'm not typically the one to leave first in any toxic setting. BC, I beg for people to be kind to me, but here I am knowing my worth and growing as a person. I have an interview today at 4:30 for a new job, which I'm really looking forward to and feel confident about. Here's to new beginnings and not letting shitty people bring me down anymore. I cannot wait for this new chapter and feel like doing this has lifted such a heavy weight off my chest. Side note, my boyfriend told me he will go to the bakery when I'm craving something on his days off, so I never have to face those horrible people again. Why can't jobs just let us work in peace? I don't want to go to your happy hours. I don't want to remember your stupid mission statement and sales goals/numbers. I literally want to do my job and go the fuck home. I enjoy my job and want to perform to the best of my ability, but I don't want to be forced to create a work culture. You want to reward me? Let me go home or pay me. I don't want to waste my headspace remembering things that add zero value to my life. Just let me work and then give me my paycheck. Why is that so hard for employers to understand? Why do they give us all this extra bullshit like team building events and happy hours, where you have to attend if you want any type of upward mobility, even if your work is great quality and you genuinely care about what you do? Sigh. Rant over.